Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the CinemaBuns Podcast, episode 2 to be exact. I am Quinn, this is Brandon, that's Drake.
If you want to hang out with a bunch of aging nerds complaining about movies, you're in the right place.
CinemaBuns Podcast.
Alright, so what is this? What do we got here? This sounds really amazing.
I love it. We should take this camping for sure.
Well, that is why I grabbed it. It could go either way.
Focus.
I was excited to find something local. It says it's from Alberta. I don't know if it's from Calgary. Field and Forge Brewing's Marshmallow Porter.
I don't know. That sounds made up to me.
Well, it was made up
Probably is.
by a brewer.
Cool. What is it? It's sweet and roasty. Let's see if that actually if it lives up to its name.
Oh.
Well, that was good until you did that.
Perfect execution.
All right, I'm worried it could go either way. Sometimes a porter is like,
Cheers. Is it weird that it already looks like s'more liquid? Why does it taste like Guinness? Or am
I think it does a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I could see a little bit.
It kind of tastes like they just changed the label and put Guinness in this beer can. That's what I think happened.
I'm definitely getting some sweetness from it, though.
Mm-hmm. It's not bad though. I actually don't mind it.
I don't mind it. I'm always worried with porters because they can be like really. Okay, one of my friends actually watched this and criticized our inability to speak to actual flavor notes.
Okay.
So, Amy, I'm not about to impress you this time either. But it definitely had some, I don't know, some tannins, some tang. Like this one is really easy drinking, smooth. I like it. It doesn't have those really bitter notes that some porters just sort of come at you with, and they try to pretend it's like, no, it's a chocolate fruit bowl, and it's like
more sophisticated.
It's like, no, this tastes like tar. This one does not taste super like marshmallow to me.
It's got that like sweet taste that you would expect from a marshmallow, but it does not taste like marshmallow. It just tastes like Guinness, to be honest.
Yeah. Guinness is incredible. I don't know. It's definitely got a lot more personality than a lot of the porters that I've had. So I think it's good. It's got some sweetness. It's got like that thick, almost like chocolatiness that you get from a porter, which I enjoy. So yeah, I think this is great.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
It does seem to have a chocolatiness to it. It's the flavor notes are mild, but I will say they're adding the aftertaste, like coats your tongue.
It's a good aftertaste.
Like you can enjoy the subtle flavor notes as it builds on the tongue.
Yeah,
And I like the art on the can.
it is really cool art. I like how you can see the sky and the stars.
Yeah, dude, you can see the Milky Way.
I literally picked this one up because it was pretty, and at least it doesn't
Dude, that's
taste like
literally
tar.
how I
That's
make
the best
all
way
my alcohol
to
choices.
buy alcohol. Like
Yeah.
Sam and I, when we went to buy wine, we just found a bottle that looked really nice, and it tasted pretty good too.
That's exactly what I do when I'm looking for wine. I'm just like, oh, that has a cool picture, and usually it tastes good.
Yep.
Like,
Same
usually
thing.
it's
You do the
never
same
bad.
thing with beer, honestly.
I don't care what they say. You should always judge a book by its cover.
I find that works fine with beers. I've had less success with wines. I've often been betrayed by pretty bottles of wine.
Right.
So much so that when I'm picking out a bottle of wine now, if I'm comparing the two, I will specifically choose the uglier one because it's not trying as hard. It's like a Chinese food or a Chinese restaurant, right? If the Chinese restaurant is like brand new and it's all white people and everything is clean and the service is impeccable, the food is going to be garbage.
Yeah, it's going to be Western Chinese food, like American Chinese food.
Yeah, if it's tiny, ugly, uncomfortable, smells bad, nobody even notices you're there, and it's just a bunch of old Chinese people, incredible food.
That's funny that you say that because I find that to be the case with sushi restaurants.
Yeah.
It's like the ugliest, dingiest looking ones turn out to be the tastiest ones for some reason. And then the fancy places, I'm like, this is subpar. But for some reason,
Yeah, I think that's kind of across the board. That's kind of how it works.
yeah, just look for the hole in the wall and it'll
Yeah,
probably be good.
literally. Because when we were in China, one of my favorite restaurants was literally like down the darkest, crappiest, dingiest looking alley, and it wasn't what I was looking for. Like I was looking for some place that did ramen, and I was like, And I did not find it, but this place, I passed it. And I was like, you know what? I'm hungry now. Let's go in here. And it was easily the nicest.
Yeah, welcome back. We just cut out a huge segment where we talked about food.
If you want to watch all of that, you can't.
Go to widestreammedia.ca to see the whole spiel.
We promised ourselves we would reduce the length of the beer segment, and I would say,
No, we reduced the length of the beer segment.
Yeah,
we
we
just got talking on food instead of beer. So
Yeah.
we replaced it with another pointless subject.
Third time's the charm. The next episode will actually,
Yes.
you know,
oh yeah, don't
properly.
blink or you miss it. We'll have it nailed in.
you
Nailed
won't
down.
even
Jesus.
you won't even see the beer.
Yeah. It's not going to be important. It's going to be irrelevant.
You'll hear it.
You know, we are still talking about the beer, so we should.
Yeah. So the last episode, we mostly just introduced, talked about ourselves, and I'm sure I'm not alone in saying that we could do that for many more episodes. But more specifically, we wanted to go over different things about film, movies, modern and old. And I recently watched a film in theaters, and I just wanted to talk about how the use of CGI affects me on a deep emotional level. VFX and CGI are ruining modern films. Have ruined.
Too late. They're already all ruined.
Yeah.
There's no coming back.
There's no coming back. We've gone too far.
Agree or disagree?
I partially agree. I think it's not too late. I think that there is a lot of room for improvement.
There's still time.
There's still time. Unless Netflix takes over the world, which is obviously happening. I don't know. It's hard because I think some movies, the CGI really complements it. But we're kind of at a day and age now where everything's just green screen and they just throw CGI and it's like almost lazy in a way. There's no authenticity anymore. And I feel for the actors specifically because I could not act in front of a green screen for 12 hours a day. I feel like acting's already so hard.
That is true. That's like an extra challenge.
Yeah, and now you have to like pretend stuff is like in front of your face when it's just a green screen. That doesn't.
Yeah,
really...
I mean, there's a video of Ian McKellen on the set of the Hobbit movies, and he like mentally could not cope with the fact that he's having to act in front of a green, like everything around him in the video,
Hobbit.
In the Hobbit,
Yeah.
There's a scene where he's like trying to talk to a character or something, and he just like tosses something on the table. He's just frustrated because he just can't handle it. To be fair, he's also like really old.
See that, BT.
But, like, but it's kind of sad too, though, because that absolutely like impacted his performance as an actor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the experience of being an actor on a set like that is, you know, it's not the same.
I think most actors would agree too that it's just more fun to be on a practical set. You know, it's more believable. It looks better on camera. There's still directors obviously keeping it alive. You know, you have Chris Nolan, other directors that you guys might know better than I do. I don't know. There's tons of people that are still keeping it alive, but it's not popular anymore. It's definitely being weeded out, and I don't think cinema is necessarily ruined because of it. I just think that we're in a weird phase right now where it's just easier for them to do CGI rather than practical effects, and that's unfortunate. I want there to be more room for making things real. I would assume it's a cost thing.
I think cost could be a factor, but it's also going to be a matter of who's directing the piece, whether the film has a single director with a single vision, or whether it's one of those ones where there's multiple directors, or it bounces around into a number of different hands. Cost could be a factor, but there's also the comfort level of the actors. Who was it? The Grinch. Yeah. Sorry, I'm brain fart on his name.
Jim Carrey?
Yeah, Jim Carrey as the Grinch famously
Jim Carrey
went in for makeup for I don't know how many hours, and it was so uncomfortable for him that they had to bring on a Navy SEALs specialist in training individuals to survive and withstand torture. Like, this was this guy's specialty.
Hey, man.
They brought him on to train Jim Carrey to get through
To cope with being in the makeup trailer.
Yeah, 100%.
A wise man once said, "You have to sacrifice for the art."
But that's the thing. When you're going that deep on practicals, then you really are making a significant sacrifice. And I can only imagine going in as the Grinch or Mystique. And I'm doing a bad job with.
Okay, but could you
Actually,
imagine if
X-Men,
the Grinch was CGI'd and how bad it would look?
Well, I mean, also like when it was made, that it definitely would have looked bad if they did
I think
that
it would look
when
bad
it came
now,
out.
even.
That's true, but we've been using CGI in films for a long, long time.
Mhm.
It's just how heavy-handed we are with it, right?
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, like, my answer to the question is straight up no.
How dare you?
I absolutely don't think it's quote unquote ruining cinema and film, because like CGI is such a large umbrella term for like many different disciplines, right? To me, it's kind of like this. If you look at CGI or if you think about it and what you're seeing or what you're picturing is like a massive blue screen on some big set in Hollywood, then sure, that to me is overdone. But again, it kind of depends on what you're trying to do with it, because I do think that there's some films that you just have to inherently have be 80% CGI. You just can't really tell the story any other way. Like Marvel movies, for instance, you can't do that all practical, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Tron Legacy.
yeah,
That's,
exactly.
That to me, that movie needed CGI, but the reason it worked is because the story demanded it.
Yeah,
Even the
exactly.
original Tron, right? That was the whole reason it existed, was because look what we can do now.
Totally. And that movie needed it because it's a virtual video game world. So
Yeah,
of course it's going to look animated. That's the whole point. And that movie really hit hard. The story was good and it supported the story. It's when CGI is overused where it doesn't support the story, that's when I have a problem with it.
Yeah, there's definitely like a happy medium. And I think that CGI, it's just another tool in your toolbox, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're using it purely to quote unquote elevate the story you're trying to tell, then I think it takes what you were trying to do to like a whole new level, because it opens up opportunities for you, like as a filmmaker, you know?
Yeah. I think in a perfect world, you utilize practical effects, do as much as you can that's possible, and then enhance it with CGI. To me, the most real looking movies use those methods.
Yeah, it's the best movies are the ones that use both. It's a hybrid approach.
100%.
You know? Like for instance, Harry Potter, tons of VFX, tons of CGI.
Of course.
But it like in and amongst that, there's so much practical effects also going on. Like Hagrid, like having a double to be Hagrid.
That was wild.
Yeah, and somehow they sold it so well. And actually, Hagrid.
Because he was so big.
Yeah,
Yeah, they had to get like the bigger guy for like the scenes where he's standing next to people. They use like a stunt double who's like larger than him.
Yeah, he's like 7'6" or something.
But they put like a weird mask on him, and it was like hard for him to talk.
In the first movie, they had the two actors. I forget what the guy's name is that plays Hagrid. I can't remember what his name is, but
Hagrid.
Yeah. So they had
just brought in
Hagrid. And he, for all the close-up scenes, it would be him doing it, but then the stunt double or the double would do all of the wide shots and the stuff where he needs to look really tall. In the second movie, they actually built a like animatronic face mask that the double could wear.
Okay.
So that instead of only being able to have him in scenes where you only see the back of Hagrid, you could have like 180 degrees, so you could see the side of his face, and it would still look like his eyes would be blinking and his mouth could move a little bit.
I didn't know that. No.
Yeah,
Next time I watch those movies, I'm going to be like trying to find an
you can
angle.
tell. There's in that scene when they're in like the cottage in the middle of the ocean in the first movie. There's one shot where it like cuts to a wide, and you kind of see him like moving his head, and it looks all weird.
They
But
did
it's-
use practicals. Actually, who's the actor with the Sorry, I watch a lot of Digital Foundry, I think it is, and I love seeing their like, showing. Can you see how they did that sort of thing? And the guy who's missing a leg.
In which movie?
In the Harry Potter movie.
Oh, Mad-Eye Moody.
Mad-Eye Moody's the one who's missing a leg. Yeah, you can tell in the shot. Sometimes they're CGIing his like prosthetic, but then sometimes you can tell that he's actually got the leg like up behind him.
Oh yeah,
And they've got a legit like
Really?
practical. They built the prosthetic. It was somehow, yeah. It's a mix of practicals and
Yeah.
just like compositing digitally.
That would be so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
To like, I don't know if you guys ever saw the show Godless. Really good show, recommend it. But in the entire show, he like doesn't have an arm, and he had to like learn how to ride a horse with one arm because obviously they like hid his arm and then they CGI'd it out.
Right.
So that's another example of.
Yeah, well, so that's kind of the thing is I think that CGI is a tool that can help
Yes.
elevate your story, but it has to be like within reason. The best approach is like a hybrid approach where you're utilizing practical effects to have the actors in the like be able to actually act with something there. Like it's much easier for them to use some kind of a practical set or something.
Yeah.
But then use VFX and CGI to elevate that and really try to, add that little sprinkle of magic.
You also have to do a lot less guesswork and use less imagination for how your actor might move or land or just respond to whatever situations you're putting them in, or the props and whatever you might use. To specify the movie,
I was going to ask what film is this?
so this all came from Wicked, which did its theatrical run. I think they might have pulled it already. I'm not sure if it's still in theaters. I'm sure you can find it somewhere. But they did the exact same thing as they did in the first one, which really bothered me. And that is that the ending scene, the defying gravity, the big flying scene, it's just such a drastic change in pace and tone. They did an incredible job with the costuming and the set design and the choreography and just so many amazing design features that were all done practical. And yeah, obviously they're not all practical. I understand that modern films have CGI everywhere. Like there's very few scenes that you've seen in a movie in the past 15 years that don't have some aftertouch of
almost
digital
every
effects.
single film out there, like after the 2000s, has some form of VFX.
Sure, be it color grading or doing adjustments to the environment, putting in a sky, like digital compositing. You'll have some green screen parts and some practical parts, but then a lot of the background is just a complete fabrication because you're not actually in Middle Earth or on Fury Road or in a magic university. But all of that, and then it just ends in this final scene that is so obviously just CGI from top to bottom, and it's flying around. It feels like a Marvel movie. And that's what was so upsetting, because you just enjoyed something that was really well done. And then the last 10 minutes of it, it's just the worst flying scenes from the lesser enjoyed Marvel films. And it took me out of it completely.
So do you think that, there's two parts of this question. The first one is, do you think that the film, like you would have enjoyed it more if the whole thing was relying on VFX and CGI, or so that's one question. The other question is, do you think you would like the last scene better if they relied on like wire work and doing it all practically?
Really, that's what I would have been. I would have loved to see more practical wire work rather than. And I get that Elphaba is not actually going to fly.
You don't know that, dude. You don't know that.
Have you even seen the movie?
Dude, Harry Potter, they were obviously flying on brooms. We can all agree that was real, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to dig into that. The Quidditch scenes, for example. That's what it's called, right?
Quidditch, yes.
That's the sport.
Yeah.
Yeah. How much of that was filming actors on props and, digital compositing versus how much was just full on CGI? Because I assume most of it was CGI.
Yeah, they were on brooms in like a kind of strapped up to wires, and then they were just kind of like, they had like a fan blowing on them. So it was all green screen except the broom they're kind of on and like moving around.
Yeah, I think they in some scenes too, they have like a mechanism that is like, moving them.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, because that's the worst part is when you need to do a face shot. It's super obvious, the uncanny valley. Like, even now, we do not do a good job of doing a CGI version of an actor's face. So we do lots of motion blur and clouds whipping by and particle effects so they try and hide as much as possible. But that one in particular really spoiled it for me, because I think part of what could have been and otherwise was so enjoyable about both those films is because they are sort of respecting the source material, not the book, but the original films, which were obviously all practical. We touched on that in the last in the first episode.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's a good one.
We'll put the link below.
All practical effects
The link will
because
be
of
up here.
necessity.
Wait,
Right there?
no, this
Dude, I don't like that.
Do you
It's,
even know
it's over
where-
my head right
Wait,
now. I don't
no,
like that
there
at
it
all,
goes.
dude. Okay, it's gone?
Is it back?
I don't like that. It's like a bee flying over my
Are
head.
we gonna have to CGI that in?
No, that was all practical.
So we're basically...
That was a real bee.
Yeah, I spent hours building
How
that.
did you train that thing?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it wasn't easy.
We're staying true to the practical methods. You're welcome.
Yeah, and that's the kind of effort that I want to see filmmakers putting in.
Yeah, seriously, guys, you need to put in more effort.
No, Wicked did a great job, and I think that's one of the things that longtime fans and new fans can really enjoy and appreciate about it is how they really put effort to include those classic styles and techniques.
I really liked the first movie.
You did watch the
Yeah, I
first
did.
one.
I haven't seen the second one, but I really enjoyed. I'm not like big into musicals, not because they're bad. They're really well done, and I respect them. Just I get bored, but I did
Not enough explosions.
not enough explosions. No, I don't.
Not enough car
Not enough
crashes,
car crashes.
gunshots.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not enough Chris Nolan. You know.
Yeah, there's not enough Chris Nolan. No. I did really enjoy Wicked though, and just the choreography and everything was really well
Yeah,
done.
super. It was
And I like that actress.
both of the which one? Like the two main actors?
Both of them.
Like,
Well,
both of
Ariana
them?
Grande annoyed me. Me and Quinn had a conversation about this, but
Kind of her character.
no, and that was the thing is she annoyed me, but because that was her character. It wasn't Ariana Grande. She did a very good job at doing her character. I was annoyed by her.
Has
and
she
I
acted in?
she started off as an actor.
Yeah, I think
Sure,
she
but
was
has
a-
she been in movies since then?
I can't name any,
Yeah,
but I
I
think
don't
she
know.
has like a few of them for sure. But
She was really good in it. Just
yeah,
that attitude.
I really loved the first one. I haven't seen the second one either.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I was going to ask.
Yeah, I
Well,
need to
you're
watch
kind
it.
of ruining it for us now. You're telling us basically how this ending.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't even need to watch it.
Yeah,
you know?
I feel like I've heard enough.
Sorry, dude.
That 10 minutes not worth me going
No,
down.
I'm gonna go watch it. for
Wizard of
sure.
Oz, like 100 years old. So isn't that past the statute of limitations for
Yes.
spoilers?
That's true.
That is true, yeah. Well, but this is I didn't know about the backstory until
The
now.
Wizard of
Like
Oz.
this is the first I ever heard of it. I only know the Wizard of Oz is like the original 30s film. I didn't know there was like all this before stuff. So it's all new to me.
I'm definitely kind of messing with you. Like it was a unique storyline that they created for it.
Oh, okay.
I actually watched the Broadway performance.
That's pretty, and that one was like pretty old, right?
They've been
yeah,
doing that for a couple
long time. Yeah,
20
but
years or so.
Defying Gravity. So when they perform that one live, it's like it almost always gets a standing ovation
It's the
because
crescendo. It's the big.
yeah, well, not just as like part of the story, but like it's that song is renowned as being incredibly difficult. Like it's really, really hard to sing that song.
Could you sing it for me right now, please?
No.
Just give me just a little snippet.
I'm trying to remember what the lyrics are. I can't even remember a lyric right now. You put me on the spot.
Drake, look up the lyrics. I'm gonna look up the lyrics. What is this song called?
It's actually kind of complex.
Defying
Yeah,
Gravity.
just defying
Defying
gravity.
Gravity
It's actually
lyrics.
kind of complex the way it like moves and
Oh, man.
changes.
My favorite part is when she sings, like, if you care to find me or whatever, and then it's like, I'll be out on the western sky. But she,
Yeah. And
she
the,
like
like
drops her voice. Oh man, it just gives me goosebumps every single time.
that musical piece like does a
That's a
spectacular
long-
job of like, making your chest swell and a tear to your eye. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what the formula is, because obviously whoever wrote it knew exactly what they were doing.
Yeah.
But they did it.
Those are some pretty long lyrics. I could see
Yeah,
why
that's
it's
what I-
that's a long song.
Yeah, so this is what I'm saying.
Wow.
It's kind of complex. Like it does have like segments to it, but it's also interspersed with dialogue within the piece.
Yeah.
So that you can't download just if you get any version of the song to put on your MP3 player, then it's gonna have segments of the dialogue as
You
well.
just sound so old when you said that.
I could have said
I
Walkman CD.
Yeah,
Play it on my Walkman.
Dude, let me play it on my
Your
cassette tape.
mixtape.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Throw that on my 2-track.
So that's why it was so disappointing, because it's such an important part, and all of a sudden you're sort of pulled away from all of that magic and all of that effort, and it's just whipping around CGI graphics.
Yeah.
and
I mean,
it's super
so-
disappointing to me.
It can definitely it has the potential to do that, for sure. I just watched the first Avatar movie again
Great film.
At home,
at home.
why
What do you mean? Why? It's a good
Where else is he gonna watch it?
It's not playing in
in
theaters.
3D?
In the theater, it's not playing.
Yeah.
Sorry. Well,
Yeah, dude, I think it's been out
so
of
what
theaters
was
for a
your
while.
how was that experience for you?
So this is, I kind of wanted to chat a little bit about the difference between practical effects and VFX and sort of their place in cinema. And I think that this movie really illustrates a big point for me. So when Avatar first came out, that movie was sort of the flagship CGI VFX experience, right? You go to the theater, you watch it, and it's the next step in cinema.
It's fair to say.
Yeah, I think a lot of people when they went to it, that was their perspective.
It was a revolution.
Yeah, and it actually definitely that director, what's his name?
James Cameron.
James Cameron. He's always pushing the envelope with
He always
CGI
tries
and-
a new thing or a new piece.
Yeah.
He uses new technology for his films.
Yeah, so that movie was the next step in CGI or whatever. And at the time, it was phenomenal. We had never seen anything like that before. I mean, obviously Lord of the Rings and there's other big budget things that have come out, but this was full on CGI, full CGI. The Na'vi, the characters,
Right,
everybody
yeah.
in that film, not everybody, most of the characters were all CGI.
Yeah, and it started the whole 3D era where it was everything was 3D.
It
Yeah.
restarted the 3D
Jaws,
movie era.
3D,
Yeah.
which was honestly kind of annoying. I'm glad that's over.
I love 3D movies. I think they're amazing.
I think
I
your
love purpose-built
opinion
3D
correct.
movies.
Yeah, I mean, watching a rom-com in 3D would be weird.
Yeah, there were some questionable movies that came out in 3D.
Yeah, I could definitely get right into that as a complaint, but that's not
Yeah.
really what we're here for.
No,
Yeah.
so anyway, the reason I bring up that movie and it being the pinnacle of CGI is I watched it and it did not age very well.
No?
The movie itself is still phenomenal, obviously.
Did they do a funky frame rate in the first one? I don't remember. I saw the second one.
I think it was all 24, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, just an aside.
I could be wrong. If you guys know, leave down in the comments below what the actual frame rate is, because I'm not 100% sure.
Or we could Google it.
We could Google it and then put it above our heads practically.
Okay.
We
Sorry,
just-
I interrupted you. What?
No,
we're
I
gonna
want
put
to
it. No, we're gonna put it above Twin Set this time.
Avatar
The,
See
the
how you
first
like
one.
it.
2009.
Because Way of the Water or whatever the second one was, that was one of their things, is you could go to the theater. You had to select what frame rate you wanted to see it in. There was, yeah.
Oh, and the second one.
The second Avatar, you
Oh,
could go to a number of different showings depending on the frame rate that you were interested in.
Okay,
Okay,
can
see-
confirm
Above his head.
24p.
See that above his head,
What? Hold on.
24 frames per second,
24p.
right there. Get out of here! Shoot. I will say this about Avatar: even when it first came out, I remember seeing it and everyone being like, "Oh my god, it looks real." And I was like, this does not look real. But I was still impressed. I was like, this is obviously the best that we could do. And I thought it was incredible. But I always thought it looked animated. But it didn't take me out of the experience. I still thought the movie was awesome. Great film.
Yeah, it's even at the time when I first watched it, it wasn't perfect,
Yeah.
But I think the Na'vi were so well done.
Oh, yeah.
They did such an incredible job on that.
Such a good cast, too.
Oh yeah, all-star cast. And watching it, it still holds impact.
Oh, for sure.
The emotional story they're trying to tell, everything
Yeah.
is actually still really, really good. But the VFX, I don't think hold up, and you could see it in a lot of the scenes with the big industrial machines and the army or whatever. I forget what the company name is or whatever. But there's a lot of the industrial stuff that just does not hold up. And I think that is one of the main differences between practical effects and VFX. Is VFX are very much like a product of their time because you're so limited by the technology that exists and all of that kind of stuff. But if you look at a scene, like there's one in Lord of the Rings where Bilbo and Gandalf are in his kitchen and they're like sharing a meal. Bilbo's making tea, and it's that classic forced perspective shot, right?
The big one.
The big one. That shot, it still looks incredible.
Yeah.
Because it looked incredible in camera, like when it was being shot, because the source itself is the effect, you know? And it's you can watch that 100 years from now, it's still going to look the same as it did when it...
Because there's no uncanny valley. There's no rubbery-looking skin or weightless-looking objects, right?
Yeah.
They're all physically in the space.
And that's actually brings me to the example I was going to tell about what like movies that are done practically and still look good. I think Saving Private Ryan, opening sequence to that movie is like, I rewatched it the other day and I'm like watching it and I still don't understand how they did it. I'm like, this is all it. I'm starting to think they just literally murdered a bunch of people on camera because it looks so real. Like, it's just incredible. And that movie was filmed in 1997.
The Normandy beach landing?
Yeah.
Or tell me the beach. I know you were saying there's...
Yeah, it was Omaha Beach.
Okay.
Yeah. And to this day, it still looks better than like half the war movies that come out now. Like, take Hacksaw Ridge. Great film. They used a lot of practical effects, but you can tell in certain scenes when someone gets gunned down or there's like blood splatters, you can tell it's CGI.
Right.
Whereas in Saving Private Ryan, that was all prosthetics. It was all real, and it looked real. Like, you were in there with them. Whereas like newer movies, I just don't get that same experience. And here's the other thing. I don't understand why we don't, in this day and age, we have the technology to make things look incredible practically. So why not? Like, why don't we do it when it's like we have the access? Like, we should be able to be putting out a lot more.
Well, I think it's so you mentioned like money is a big motivator to why you should be doing things with VFX, right? And that makes so much sense because if you have access to a massive blue screen and you only need to, shoot there for a month,
You already paid for it.
yeah, like that's obviously that's what you're going to do, right? It's the same with like, if somebody's leg gets shot off or something, you could, hire somebody that has 1.5 legs and then just like attach, some kind of a prosthetic or
Does
something.
anyone have half a leg missing that we can borrow for this?
Yeah, this example's a bit more of a stretch than the last one, but I'll go with you. Like,
It's
like in Lord of the Rings, missing eye guy. That guy was actually missing his eye.
yeah. So if you can find that, then that's great. But like, I don't know. I don't work in that side of the industry, so I don't really know what the cost difference is, because I imagine it's pretty significant. Because like, either you find somebody like that and you create a prosthetic, and then when you film it, you add blood and all this stuff, or you can like add tracking points to his leg and just have like a white or a green sleeve down his half of his leg and just do it that way, right? And pay somebody, I don't know how much money it would be. Like, which one of those is more expensive? I'd like to do the math on that and actually see. Because when you're talking about a full film that has thousands of shots that all need that decision made, okay, are we going to do this practically? Are we going to do this with CGI? Yeah. Like, that cost is exponential.
But then you got to pay the CGI artists.
Yeah, so
yeah,
how much
both are going to be expensive.
It's definitely cheaper. Like, without even looking fact checking, I can almost guarantee it's cheaper to do CGI. Because why else would they do it? Just makes sense.
I think there's a range
Yeah.
within CGI, because you could do an incredible job, or you could do
That's true.
a quick and dirty job.
Well, and that's why in a lot of films, certain scenes are done much, much better than other scenes, is because, you hire a VFX studio and you're like, hey, these are all the scenes, these are all the shots, do it. And then the VFX team is like, okay, well, we have 8 months to do 100 shots. So this one is not as much of a priority. So we're going to spend more time on this one because it's got way more to it. So when the film comes out, it's like, you can kind of tell which ones are.
Never thought of it like that.
I would argue that the cost of which one is more expensive should not be a factor at all. And I think in a lot of films it's not, but it should really be a question of what your intent is with the scene, with the piece overall, what you're trying to accomplish, with the reason you chose one over the other. I wrote down numerous examples. I think here the Lord of the Rings trilogy versus the Hobbit trilogy is a solid example. Lord of the Rings, obviously, they use a lot of CGI, whether that's color grading or adding different color effects to set the tone, or composite imaging with the actual characters walking, more walking. I don't remember the song. And then adding in, Mount Doom or whatever it is behind them. But still a lot of practical stunts versus the Hobbit trilogy, where Legolas is flying over barrels and shooting triple arrows and doing little flips and junk. And it's all 48 FPS CGI the whole way. One of them is immersive, does a great job building a world and doing so with as much costuming and genuine props and actual choreography, because everything has weight and momentum, and it just makes it a lot easier for the actors to perform and present the characters that they're trying to convince you they are, versus a rubbery mush of video game quality CG characters bouncing around the screen. One feels convincing and one is just doesn't do a very good job. It does the opposite. Instead of drawing you in, it pushes you out.
I've got a question now. Is it just me, or did CGI look better back in the day than it does now?
That's a great question.
Because you're talking about Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Obviously, there's scenes in Lord of the Rings where it is CGI. When they're in the third one, when they're fighting, there's like the giant elephant things. I forget
The
what they're called.
Oliphaunts.
Yeah, that's
Those
all
were real
CGI.
Oliphaunts.
You're right. I'm sorry. But that looked
Very rare.
more real than The Hobbit did, which came out 10 years later.
Absolutely.
Not
That was
more.
why people didn't, one of the reasons people
So-
didn't like The Hobbit.
But what is it about then versus now? Because even the movie Dinosaur, that looked
Yeah.
so real. And that movie came out in like 2000.
Do you mean the Pixar one?
Was it Pixar?
I think it was Pixar.
Yeah. I don't think
Yeah.
it was Pixar.
It's one of those
I think it was
studios.
DreamWorks. I could be so
DreamWorks.
wrong. Actually, no, I think it is on Disney. Yeah, we gotta look this up. This is important.
Baseball dinosaur.
Well,
Dinosaur. Yeah, the CGI looks fantastic. Wasn't that the one where they challenged themselves to do photorealistic skies?
honestly couldn't tell you. Dude, the land that they're on looks so real.
Yeah, I mean the dinosaurs all have anime eyes, so it's not like realistic
You're right.
in
I
that
never
way.
noticed that before. But even like if you look at the
Look at the
skin,
texture. That's so detailed. How did they?
these guys look a little.
Well, this is also the
Soft.
movie cover, so it's going to look a little more cartoony than the actual film itself.
I think you're right about the environment, though. That's really where they put the effort, because the sky and the greenery
Like the
and
valley,
the water, yeah,
it just
like,
all looks.
Or the scenes like at the beginning of the movie. Sorry if you haven't seen it, but I mean, it came out
If you
in
haven't
2000.
seen it, this is
Spoilers.
this is your fault,
When the island explodes and they all die,
dude. Don't give it away.
just joking. That doesn't happen. Don't worry about it.
I haven't seen it yet.
I'm messing with you.
You've definitely seen this movie.
I don't know. If he said he didn't see it, I would believe him because he never sees any film that I ask him to watch.
That's kind of true.
And I'm
Anyway, so they all fall off the thing and they're swimming in the water and they wash up on shore and like it looks incredible. And there's a shot where he like walks out of the water and his foot like hits the beach and then all the rocks like shimmy around.
Oh, I know
You
exactly.
can
the shot
hear
you're
it and
talking
it looks so real.
about. Yeah,
They did an incredible job. I don't know what the budget
they did
was
that
for this
now.
movie, but
It would look worse,
probably yeah.
which is so weird.
I think it's probably partially about intent and partially about knowing what you can get away with and not trying to push that. Knowing why you want to limit your use of CGI.
Mhm.
Another example, Spider-Man 2. Doc Ock.
Oh, one of the most incredible films of all time.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah. And done with a lot of practical effects. One of the coolest things that you can find on the BTS is how much work they did to build the Doc Ock's arms. And he had multiple grips. I'm not sure what they'd be called. Like there was an actor for each arm, manipulating each arm.
Animatronic grip engineers.
And because of that, the actor had to act with the arms, and they had to choose different motions. They had to make decisions based on what their arm prosthetics were able to accomplish, and that informed what sort of approach and camera angle and grippy manipulations the arms would do. So the practical arms that they built were a very real part of how they filmed and designed everything. And that's part of why it felt so real.
You know, that kind of sounds like a lot of work. I think they should have just CGI'd the whole thing.
Yeah, honestly. Blue screen,
dude, that's
a couple $2 billion.
Yeah, let's just throw
And
some money
of course
at
they
this
did.
guy.
They did use CGI,
Yeah.
right? That movie had a fair amount of CGI. Famously, the Spider-Man character, right? That was one of the challenges because it had so many little lines on it, and many of the Spider-Man whipping around scenes were CGI. And then the last one where Doc Ock saves the city and does he fall off a...
Spoilers.
It was like the house was like that he was in.
I think he used his arms to grab the what's it that was going...
the like explosion thing.
Yeah, and drowned it in the bay.
Oh yeah,
And the flying.
Yeah. Lots of water and particle effects and such washing by just to hide the fact that they did have to CGI that part. And I think that's, if you're going to use CGI, you should feel bad and be embarrassed about it.
Yeah.
And try your best to hide it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, use practical. Like us. Like that thing that was floating in Quinn's head. That was all practical.
I thought you were going to bring up
I love bringing that up. You know I do.
What are we bringing up?
Into the Dark.
Oh. Well, we're not going to talk about that.
No,
We already
if you wanna listen to
Episode
us
1.
ramble about that, go back.
If you
listen to
wanna-
episode 1.
hear how big of hypocrites we are, go watch our Into the Dark film, which we did not use CGI really badly.
Did either of you have any examples of CGI ruining modern film?
No, because that wouldn't support my opinion.
I can't think of any at the top of my head, to be honest, because
So you guys are a fan of the use of CGI?
I think it should be used less, and right now they use it far too often. And it, like, I love a movie with practical effects. I prefer it that way. I don't know if it's ruining film. It's like, I think we just need to. We're just steering in the wrong direction, but we can get back on track.
Yeah, I think it just, like, every major film that's come out that's, like, you know, done really, really well, like the Marvel movies or whatever else, they just use way too much of it.
Mhm.
You know, and obviously it's tough in those movies because it's so...
It would be so hard to do that practically.
Yeah, and, like, you can do some of it. You can set up, like, full-on practical sets and, like, in front of a green screen and have Thor come down with a wire and stuff. Like, you can...
Yeah.
There's a happy medium for sure, but...
Yeah, you don't want to spend 10 years shooting the film. Like,
Yeah.
you got to get it done at some point. So I understand for, like, a Marvel movie why they got to focus on CGI, because that's kind of their only option. But, yeah, they could still incorporate more practical effects.
I think, and
They
they have
so
the
wanted
money
to.
to do that, too.
They
is
have
thing.
the
Like,
money and
they
the
could build...
resources.
I mean, you know what I'm really curious to see where it goes is the volume walls in Mandalorian, like that style
Right.
of filmmaking, because that's another form of VFX, right? Like those sets aren't real. It's literally a screen that has like a 3D environment just like rendered behind you, you know, and that's CGI. Like that's what that is, and
But at least it's real for the actors to some extent.
It's
to
it's
some
not.
extent,
No,
but they can't interact with it. They
I
aren't
guess
looking
that's
at it, you know.
yeah, that's really the same problem.
But it's better than
like
looking at a
acting-
green screen.
I would 100% agree because the lighting is actually accurate. Because
And,
like to
like,
make a
oh,
volume
okay, I hear what
wall
you're saying, yeah.
work, you gotta rig up all the lighting and it's got to be in sync with what's shown on the screen. You know, so if the actor's standing in front of the volume wall and their entire background is like Mars and there's like a red or orange tinge to it, you want to have like red or orange backlighting there,
Right.
You know, so at least it'd be a little more immersive than like a green screen or something.
Yeah, I would prefer that if I had to choose one of the two.
Yeah, but I that's not going away either. You know. and that's another form of CGI.
Yeah.
This is obviously a subject that people could yap on endlessly, and I would love to. But I think a lot of audiences can see and agree with the same thing. Sometimes heavy use of CGI, especially VFX, can take you out of the experience and somewhat spoil the immersion that the director was probably going for. In other examples, have you watched Speed Racer?
No, I've never seen that movie. That came out in like what, 2009 or something?
Yeah, it's pretty old. Like, that was obviously all CGI and VFX, but they were leaning into it. It was part of the story that they were trying
It was
to tell.
on purpose, and it suited the movie.
Yeah, they used
Tron.
it
Exactly.
just like Tron. That's one of the most important things about getting a good director, and well, good people in general. People who know
Mhm.
what they're doing and know when to use it and why.
It's so much more than just the director sometimes, too. You got to think like studio heads also play a pretty big role in deciding that. And
Yeah, it's true. I think for me, CGI, like I was saying, it's a tool and it can be used for good or for evil.
yeah, I'm with you.
I mean, a hybrid approach is great. And if you're going to make a film and exclusively do practical effects because you don't want the stigma of using VFX or not VFX, but CGI to be with your film, I don't respect that, because it's like you're telling a story, do whatever it takes to elevate that story, right? If that means using CGI, use CGI, right? Like, it's whatever serves the story the most. But then the other side of it is it can be heavily overused very quickly. And we see that all the time today.
I think even Wes Anderson movies probably have CGI in them, even though he as a director specifically loves building a set and building his scenes with practical effects for a story, for a purpose that sort of supports his narrative, that being that you are being shown a story. And that's why it's always so 90 degrees all the time and head on. And a lot of his choices are for that reason. I'm pretty sure there's still composite images.
Oh yeah, there's VFX. Doesn't matter what film you're talking about. There's VFX in there of some kind.
Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah.
That is one of the biggest things that people loved about that is, all the stunts, all of the sets, costuming, they're all practical, and that's true. But that movie would not have happened without the heavy use of VFX that it has, because every single scene is all VFX.
Mm-hmm.
But the important thing is that all of the vehicles and all of the props and all of the stunts are practical, because it gives them all weight. It gives the actors something to act with.
Yeah, like that's the thing is the practical effects, they really help enhance and sell the VFX and the CGI. That's like Corridor Digital on YouTube. Like, they talk about this all the time, is you need that practical element for your VFX and your CGI to actually sell. You need some kind of anchor point for the audience to like latch onto.
I'm with you guys. I think, in conclusion, use CGI, but use it with intent, purposely. And I think nowadays we focus too much on perfection. And I think CGI maybe needs to focus a little bit on the imperfections. That's why I think the older movies look good, because it sort of looked a little janky, but that's what made it look. I don't know why. It made it look better. And then I think use practical as much as you humanly can, and then use CGI when you have to, or if the entire movie revolves around it, go right ahead. But I don't think you should ever use CGI to cut corners or save cost, which is, I feel, the reason they do it all the time now.
Or fit in an actor that couldn't finish or something like that.
Yeah, I think they need to use it less, and when they do use it, it's got to be under the right circumstances.
I think for my final, I think it's important to use practicals because it gives your audience something to be impressed by. It gives them something to talk about, something to fall in love with, and something to get curious about. You know, when you see cool effects, like what is the hallway scene? Sorry, you've shown me that a couple times.
Oh, an Inception? Yeah.
Yeah, the hallway scene in Inception, right?
That's easily one of the most incredibly well done practical scenes in cinema history.
Of course, and how fun
Easily.
is it to see something like that and just be floored and wonder, like, how did they do
They
that?
actually did it. And they literally built a rotating hallway. Every single light on the ceiling/wall was built there so that they could get the proper lighting. And then they just had the camera like tracking backwards. And the actors had to like know which the floor was, like where it was turning. So they were actually like spinning with the wall, and they had to be like, oh, this is now the floor. But
Yeah.
that's how they did it.
Well, and it helped them sell their performance too, because they're actually doing it.
Yeah.
Right. And that's fun. Like, wondering about that is fun. Being able to do that is fun. And that's the kind of thing that you're throwing away, because of course you could have just CGI'd the whole thing and it would have been so easy, but it would have been a throwaway scene and nobody would have remembered.
It wouldn't have been mind-blowing like it was
Yeah.
if it was CGI.
Yeah, so you preserve the magic, the mystery, and the just the curiosity and the fun factor
Yeah.
with practical effects.
Could
That's
not
what you're
agree
throwing
more.
away without using them.
Yeah. But this is clearly like a super deep topic, and we could talk about it for hours. But we are curious to know what your guys' opinion is on VFX, though. We'd love to hear it down in the comments. Let us know if you've got a favorite movie that uses VFX heavily, or if you've got one that uses exclusively practical effects, and we'd love to know your opinion.
Tell me the one where the CGI offended you.
Yeah. We want to hear it. All of it.
All right.
Even the negative stuff.
Well, what's next here, Brandon?
Well, considering we're talking about practical effects, and you know, it's our traditional trailer reveal, I think it's only appropriate that we cover The Odyssey by Chris Nolan, as he loves using practical effects. I'm curious to see how this goes, because this is a movie that you can't really dig too much practically, but he always does. So I don't know. Maybe it'll be amazing. Maybe it won't.
Well, I'm excited to find out. I haven't read the book, so no spoilers.
Neither
I
have
haven't either. I don't. Yeah, I read books all the time.
I read.
Okay, read
Here we
books.
go.
You could turn the volume up on the TV over there.
How do I do that?
Oh, where it's V-Hold?
Oh, it's here. We're fine. Not V-hold. Definitely not V-hold.
Okay.
No one could stand between my men.
Costuming looks cool.
No.
Honestly, say this looks all practical so far.
Yeah, those boats look great.
Yeah.
I mean, Nolan is a fan, right, of practical effects.
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
Wow. Ooh. Just noticed those.
Okay, the backlighting took me out. Movie run. They didn't have spotlights back then.
Oh, that actually looked like pretty practical too.
Oh, misty scene. That was sick.
It's just gonna be crazy soon when we do a movie like this. That was all real. That guy actually went
Oh, he's dead.
He's not alive anymore.
Yeah.
He was a stunt guy that sacrificed his life for the film on purpose.
Promise me you will come back.
What if I can't?
Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah, I'd watch that.
Yeah, I'm very heavily excited,
Oh,
to
Drake.
say the least. Whoa!
Yeah, that's why you don't touch the V-hold.
I barely,
Put it back.
dude, I barely even moved it.
Fix it.
Yeah, you gotta move it just like the text.
It was probably having a
Nailed it.
seizure the whole time.
Yeah, that looked really cool. There's definitely a few spots that I'm excited to see, because I know he probably did them practically. And also, as a severe fan of the first Gladiator movie, this
Great
looks really good.
I'm really hyped. I would have probably went with a different casting choice for this type of movie, but I mean, I know all of these actors do great work, so I'm not worried that the movie will suffer because of it. I just like picturing Matt Damon as like a Greek god type character seems kind of weird. But I'm very excited, and this film specifically, I think they're using some new IMAX film camera technology. I didn't dig too deep into it, but I'm sure it's going to look incredible on the big screen. After seeing that trailer, I'm like, okay, I'm excited.
Yeah, this is definitely the kind of film I'd want to see in IMAX.
Oh, you got to see it in IMAX.
And I think he's shooting it in IMAX, right?
We will see it in IMAX. Yeah, it's all IMAX cameras, like everything shot in this film.
I guess it said it at the end of the trailer.
Yeah. Yeah, I should have
paid attention.
Should have paid attention.
I think it'll be an interesting discussion comparing the film and the book, because obviously, Homer's the Odyssey and the Iliad, I think, are two different tomes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thanks for that.
I think people should probably just not compare it, because as soon as you compare a book to a movie, the book is usually going to win.
Well, not the dialogue and the journey specifically, because obviously those will pretty much match 1-to-1, but the tone, the nature of the themes that are being explored. That's one of the reasons the book has survived for so long, is because it's, and again, I haven't read it, but I believe it's challenging what an individual is willing to sacrifice for what they believe is their duty, and what they expect as their reward for following through with that. There's a lot of very personal themes that are explored. So I'm curious if this film is going to have any depth like that, or if this is more, if this is just an action flick of the summer, which is fine.
But that's kind of why I'm considering reading the book first, because first I'll probably be able to interpret the movie much more accurately, because I'm going to understand the message that they're trying to communicate, but also I'll be able to interpret it, decide for myself if I thought that they did a good job, right? Or if this is just going to be like you're saying, not necessarily like the blockbuster action flick, but do I think that they serve the source material justice?
Knowing Chris Nolan, I think it's probably going to be somewhat accurate, but he likes to put his own twist on things. So I think it's going to be his own vision. I mean, I don't know. I haven't read the book, so maybe he's doing it the exact same, but just knowing what he's done in the past.
Yeah, he definitely does do that. I think there's a happy medium when you're talking about a director. If you're telling that kind of a story, you also have sort of a responsibility to the source material.
Yes.
Now. And so there's you got to figure out where to draw that line.
There is a middle ground. Yeah. I'm so hyped though. After seeing that, I really I want to see that trailer in theaters.
The trailer.
Yeah, because I've only seen it on my phone, and I want to see that trailer on the big screen.
Yeah, we should go
to a movie.
At some point.
I think they're screening. I'm pretty sure they're screening the trailer for the new Avatar.
I don't want to go see it.
I don't either. I'm glad you said that, because I won't lie. The second one I thought was just.
Yeah.
I enjoyed seeing that, the new Avatar.
You would enjoy seeing that.
I didn't see the third one, and I don't think I'm going to. The second one was cool because of the choices that you had for what frame rate you wanted to see it in.
Oh, that's right.
So I opted to go to the full 48 frames per second. The theaters that were showing it in the shifting frame rates, because the scenes with human faces were all 24, and then the scenes that were all the Na'vi on the whatever the world is called, those were all 48.
Pandora.
That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, I'd be curious to watch it like that, because it would definitely help separate the two. Because in Avatar, the first one, there isn't really a whole lot of separation. You basically, it's just he falls asleep and then possesses his avatar, and then he's a Na'vi, and he's on Pandora exploring. There's not really any separation, so I think that would actually really help serve the movie.
My personal opinion, it was not a win.
Oh, really?
All of the 48 frames scenes felt like you were watching a FMV in the middle of a PS5 game. They felt very video game movie-y.
Right.
And I don't think that was a positive, but I did appreciate that somebody is willing to take a chance with a big budget film and try these things. And I was more than willing to go and see what their results were. I thought that was cool. I didn't think it was better. I don't think people should keep doing that.
So we tried. Didn't work. Scratch that.
But it was cool. And I enjoyed it for what it was.
Now, do we think The Odyssey is going to be the movie of the year? I don't mean win Oscars. I mean like just a pop culture opinion.
No.
Does a summer
That was
action?
really harsh and really quick.
I don't
Well, is a
think it's
summer
harsh at all.
action
It's
blockbuster
just-
ever really the movie of the year? And does it deserve to be?
Well, to me, most Chris Nolan movies are the films of the year because I
Right,
think
that's
they're all
fair.
incredible,
Sure,
and I
but-
think they're just significantly better than a lot of movies.
Right, but you have a bias because you particularly enjoy this.
I didn't like his last two.
Oppenheimer.
Well, actually, I liked Oppenheimer, but I didn't like Tenet.
Oh, that one. Yeah, I haven't watched that one yet.
Yeah, you don't have to.
I think you should.
I'm
I
just
think
kidding.
I think you should because Chris Nolan really doesn't make that many movies. Thing, right? So it wouldn't take you long to go through his entire catalog. But you've seen like his other ones though, like Inception and
Yeah, we watched Inception,
We
yeah.
made him watch Inception.
oh yeah, that's right. We watched
Yeah, I watched that one.
it.
Interstellar still easily.
Oh, that was Chris Nolan.
yeah.
Yeah,
You watched that one, right?
Oh, yeah,
Okay, that one. I last year when they did the re-release in IMAX, I went and saw it in IMAX.
I wish I'd gone with you. That
Dude,
was easily like one of my top something of all time. Like I very much like that film.
I'm not gonna lie, since I saw it again in IMAX, I have it in 4K and I'm afraid to watch it at home now because it just looked so good in IMAX. Like it was just so incredible. Like all the shots, dude, it looked so real. Like when the spaceship is like floating by the black hole, I think that was like jaw dropping. And this is like the
Do you think he
20th
used
time I've
practical
actually seen.
effects?
Yeah, dude, it was all. So actually interesting fact about that film. So that like all the space scenes, they actually had like 100-foot projectors. So they had the animation done so that the spaceship was like actually like it was obviously a model for like the smaller ones.
Sure.
And then they had 100-foot projection of the animation of like the planets or whatever. And then the actors would be inside the made spaceship. And then in front of them, they were actually looking at like the black hole or the planets or whatever, because it was like in a theater room basically, which is so cool.
Yeah, I think this one is going to definitely do well. I'm excited to go see it in IMAX specifically.
Me too.
It's been a while since I've gone to the theater and watched like the next big film.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch it.
me too.
And that's what the summer blockbuster's for, right? And that's okay. It doesn't need to be the film of the year and it doesn't need to win all the Oscars. It's okay to be the one that is the most fun to go and see in IMAX with the good seats on
Yeah.
the giant screen. That's cool.
Yeah.
You don't need to have Oscar. I do want to see good performances there, but it's okay when a movie just knows what it's about and what it's trying to achieve. It doesn't have to be everything all at once.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
I'd be totally cool with. Well,
I do think this one will likely qualify for Oscars though.
It looks
With
like
that
it'll have some great
cast,
performances.
Yeah, it's going to qualify and it'll probably win some awards. I doubt it'll win again because they never give it to the same director twice in a row.
Oh,
it just
did he-
doesn't- Yeah, he won. Oh wait, I guess it was
His
for
last one was
2023.
Oppenheimer, right?
Yeah, he won. They won like the whole thing.
Really?
Yeah, they
Should've
won
been
all of the
Barbie
Oscars. What was that face? Really, that shit?
It was a good film.
No, it was a great film. I mean, most films that win Oscars, I don't really think are the best films that year specifically.
No, it's a
anyways.
popularity contest between a small number of people. Like, we don't need to get into it here and now because I think we're nearing the end of the episode. But that is a subject that we could.
Next episode. Stay tuned.
Yeah, we
Think
might
about
touch
it.
on that. Yeah. Speaking of winning awards and such things,
Oh.
it's time for the fun fact of the day.
Ooh.
And by that, the fun fact of the episode is what I mean.
Award-winning fun fact.
Yeah.
award-winning fun fact, Drake. I think you and me need to do a drum roll for
Give me a
this.
drum roll. And fun movie fact of the episode is Forrest Gump.
Oh,
So we were talking about CGI. When you
Right.
think of Forrest Gump, you don't think of VFX and CGI. When that movie came out, it won an Oscar for best VFX.
really?
Yeah.
Well, like maybe like for the war scenes, I would assume.
I guess, yeah, there were war scenes.
there was
but-
like explosions and stuff.
So there's kind of three main, like big moments in that film that kind of, are one of the reasons why it won. So when he's playing ping pong,
Oh, is it?
a lot of the time the ping pong is not actually,
I feel like I knew this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
it's not real. It's just Tom Hanks just like, pretending to to do
That
it.
kind of makes sense. It'd be a lot easier to make a return or whatever
Yeah.
look really dramatic.
Well, when he's like playing tournaments or when he's like going super fast, they just added in the ping pong because he goes so fast. There's no way he could actually do that.
Okay.
I mean, maybe he could. I don't know.
Don't even
Our
worry about
screen
it.
is having a seizure right now.
Did you touch anything but the V
No,
hole?
it was already messed up, and I tried to fix it. Oh, there we go. That was making me
don't
uneasy.
You
touch
should
any
just
other
get
knobs.
some glue.
Yeah.
Just put a big red button that says "Don't touch,"
Just
and then this
branded
won't be a
proof it.
problem. Hey, I didn't. It was
Yeah,
messed
you
up.
definitely did. No,
I was trying to fix
Your
it.
fault.
We have cameras to prove that it wasn't me that did that. So we're gonna look back at this later, and we're all gonna agree
I can't wait to edit that in.
and that is a bullshit statement.
Okay, so the other two big VFX shots is obviously Lieutenant Dan, right? His leg
Okay.
was just it was hand like rotoscoped out of every single
Really?
shot.
They didn't just have him sitting on his shins?
No, it was like a I think they used like a green.
Not gonna lie, that's actually kind of impressive for how real it
Why
was.
wouldn't they just have him sit on his shins?
I thought they just like put his folded his legs in half and then put a
Well, I think they
Pair of
probably
pants on.
it obviously depend on like the shot. And
Yeah.
there's some shots where he's probably like they painted out, and then there's other shots where they could probably get away with him just sitting on it. But yeah, so that's another one. And then the opening scene of the movie, there's I think
the feather.
the feather was
Yeah.
all CGI.
Okay, that one makes sense because that would be literally impossible.
Yeah, but that one wouldn't be an award for best.
Yeah, that's
VFX.
not really
It's
like
just a-
the feather thing is like I'm not that impressed.
I mean, a feather's. It's still pretty impressive.
Actually,
like,
for
you got to be a
early-
talented artist.
For
to-
early '90s though,
yeah.
for have that detailed of a feather, that is
yeah.
actually
And that's only 3 out of I'm sure hundreds of other shots that
I suppose, yeah.
every single film out there that you will see probably has
Of course.
a couple hundred shots that have been, have been touched by a VFX artist in some way. So yeah,
Wow, that is a weird movie fact because I did not know that.
Good find. Well done.
yeah.
Your turn next episode.
I'll see what I can do.
And I guess I'm getting the beers next time. So,
So make sure you pick something good.
Join the Patreon or YouTube membership to get that behind the scenes extended
Give
cut
us your money.
talking about beer.
Yeah, if you guys, again, it's a win-win. You get to pay us money, and we get to drink beer.
yeah, the money
It's a win-win.
that you give us will go directly to more beer for us.
It's been a blast.
Absolute pleasure. See you guys on the next one. Thanks for joining us. And yeah, we are Widestream Media. This has been CinemaBuns episode 2.
Comment, like, subscribe.
Cheers.